We are SQUAWKing Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of The Walking Dead. Sometimes we bring you news, sometimes we make you laugh. Most times we go deep. But today, we're talking about a different show. We are SQUAWKing Saul today. And I'm here. Hi, I'm Rachel. And of course, the lady of the hour, Sharon D. And Bridget is with us. I'm not going to do your socials. Sorry, guys.
That's fine. So after too long, well, you didn't have to wait, Bridget, because you just watched it. But for those of us who've been watching it, it's been a very long 2 years since we saw Jimmy and Kim and Gus and Mike and all of our favorites. So it was
on hiatus for 2 years because of COVID.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I just listened to the Better Call Saul Insider podcast, and they said that they spent a year in the writer's room on this because it's 13 episodes. Plus, they were doing it over Zoom because of COVID. If you guys want to find that and listen to it, it's on YouTube, and they're like an hour long each, and it's a really, really interesting listen. They talk a lot about technical stuff, how they did shots and how they filmed certain things and how they got certain ideas. It's fantastic. And it's showrunners. Peter Gold, Tom Schnauz, people who edit the show, people who edit Better Call Saul. Writers are there. They had a writer on the one that I listened to today. And I mean, that's like how, remember I was telling you guys about that tracking shot in season 3. That's how I learned about that, because I listened to the Insider podcast. I highly recommend it. It's really good, especially if you're into behind the scenes kind of stuff. And I am going to mention some of the stuff that they talked about because it was really, really interesting. The cold open for the first episode, which we usually is a black and white Gene sequence, but this time it was not that. So one of the things I wanted to mention was how they filmed that the opener part with the ties. That is not film effects. They actually got a pure white box, and they set up conveyor belts over them and positioned the camera above it, and they got black and white ties. And then as they had the ties go back on the conveyor belt, they were gradually added more color into the ties. So none of that is CGI or anything. That is all practical black and white to color effects in that shot.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So cool.
Yeah. The other thing is the cork is a CGI. The Zafiro Anejo cork falling out of the bat. That is CGI, because they were like, we couldn't direct where it was going to fall if it just fell out of the back. Like
that's fair.
200 times, and we would never go where we wanted it to. One of the things they talked about in the podcast was how by opening with the black and white and then shifting in the color, they really kind of wanted to put everybody off on their back foot, like really like throw people off, because we're so used to getting the Gene sequence every opener, and we didn't get it this time. They tease us, oh look, it's going to be Gene, but no, it's not. It's holy shit, it's Saul. When you first realized what was going on, how did you feel about it?
Oh man, it's the first episode of the season. I was expecting to see what was going on with Gene. Once I realized that it wasn't about Gene, I'm like, oh man, I got scared, right? Because they're changing it up on us. But then I thought, okay, they're gonna save Gene for the last episode, I bet. Now I don't know if it'll open with Gene, or maybe the final episode will end with Gene.
That's what my hope is. I'm hoping that it'll end with Gene, and we'll find out like what the end, what's the connecting piece, how, and then where does he go from there?
Did you guys catch all of the Easter eggs in Saul's bedroom?
There's no way I did, Sharon.
Yeah, not all of them. There's no way I got all of them.
First, there's the suit. As we first pan into Saul's room, the guy comes out carrying a handful of suits, and there's a brown suit in the front. That suit is from the very first episode of Better Call Saul. That's the suit he's wearing when he's defending the heads.
Oh, the mortuary kids.
Right. Yeah. That's the one I didn't catch. Catch. It's also the suit he gives Kim for.
I was going to ask that if it was the one for the client. Right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's also that suit. One of the other things they said in the podcast, and I should have brought this up, is while we see a lot of things that are Easter eggs in this scene, there are things that coming up that will mean something if you go back and watch that opener again after the season. They call them Priester eggs.
Priester eggs. Nice.
Priester eggs.
Okay.
So
that's a great term.
Something else. So yeah, something else to think about. Oh, by the way, the toilet, they built that. That was not in the house that they rented.
What do you mean? They didn't rent Boy George's house?
Okay,
Missed opportunity there.
There was also the mall walking shoes that were on the shelf that he used to just destroy poor Irene Landry's life.
Oh,
Oh, that
devastated
poor
her.
woman. That was the worst. The worst thing. He even
The-
felt bad
yeah,
about that though.
yeah.
He even felt bad.
Kim didn't. Kim was like, yeah, fuck those old ladies. As they panned around, there was also the Saul baseball cap from when he did the Saul Goodman commercial for commercials. The Saul Goodman Productions cap in the shoes. Then there's also the time machine. And while that's not something that is prevalent, that matters from before, I have a feeling that we're going to be having a lot of time jumps. And I think that's what
The
that- 'cause
time
we-
machine. I
the time
definitely
machine
missed
book,
that.
the book, H.G.
Oh,
Wells' Time Machine.
okay.
See it twice.
Oh,
We
okay.
see it twice in the episode. It's in Saul's room, but it's also on the bedside stand next to Jimmy and Kim.
Well, and time jumps would make sense because you had done some math and figured out pretty much exactly how far away we are from the beginning. Wait, is that from the beginning of Breaking Bad or from when we
from
met
the beginning
Saul
of Breaking
on
Bad? From the
Breaking Bad.
beginning
Okay.
of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So in Uno, which is the first Better Call Saul episode, the date on the check that he gets from the clerk at the court is 5/13/2002. So we know it starts on May 13th, 2002. They got married on the 26th, May 26th. You can see that on their birth certificate, on their marriage. It's May 5th, 2005. And also Howard's car, the registration date on Howard's car is also December of 2005. So they're still in 2005 for sure. They get married. Like the next day or the day after that is Bagman when they go in the desert. They spend the night in the desert. They spend 2 nights in the desert. Then he comes back and he spends the night with Kim at the house. And then the next night they stay in the hotel after Lalo. And then they stay in the hotel another night. So after working out some dates, the date that they're at the El Camino restaurant is roughly June 2nd, 2005. So Breaking Bad starts on September 7th, 2008. So we are 2.5 years away from the timeline of starting Breaking Bad. So there's going to be some time jumps. There has to be. There has to be in 13 episodes. But remember, in season 4 in 407 Something Stupid, they covered an entire year in the cold open with the split screen montage.
Oh, I think we should mention the lack of Kim Wexler in Goodman's house.
I was getting ready to ask if either of you thought that there was any Kim Wexler in that house, even after 602. Even after 602, do you think that there's any Kim Wexler in that house?
Well, so I don't know that there is, but I liked the connection between her mention of, and this is like way at the end of 602, her mention of a cathedral of justice or whatever. Yeah. And there's all that stained glass in that house. Because I remember as it was panning, I'm like, this house is hideous. Like, what is this? With the like fountain inside. And like, I can't stand it. That was a connection for me. Then when she said that, I was like, oh, the house. And then there was like a bra or a swimsuit hanging.
I think it was a thong.
I think it was a thong.
Okay. It was something that was obviously like women's underwear related. Mm-hmm. That was in the tub. But that was it. I didn't really see anything else that I was like, well, that could be Kim's. I don't know. Kim doesn't seem to me to be a thong type of person, but
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Kim doesn't strike me as a thong kind of girl.
And the absolute tackiness of the house, like I just cannot see Kim living in a house that disgustingly tacky. Like another interesting little tidbit though was they originally wanted to use the house that Kim and Jimmy visited in season 5, but there were so many restrictions on what they could do in the house that they decided ultimately it wasn't worth it. But I thought that was cool because I was like, man, it would have been cool if they'd had the house that Jimmy and Kim looked at, and they did think about doing that. But
I actually thought about that when they were panning the house. I'm like, is this that same? No, this isn't. Yeah, it's not the same house.
It's cool that they tried though. No, I do wonder where it fits into the timeline of everything, but I assume we will get those answers eventually. So it's just kind of chilling back here for now.
I mean, I'm assuming this is the feds cleaning out the house or whoever bought the property because they probably auctioned the property off or whatever. But
that's true. Yeah, because they're like movers. They're dressed in like,
and they're not. They're like, they don't care. They're just like chucking stuff in the boxes.
They're chucking things in boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a shit.
You would think if it were the FBI, they would be sorting things out for evidence. Like it looked like just movers, not.
Right.
Yeah.
So
unless they already went through and collected everything they needed to. And then now they're like, all right, just take the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. I'm thinking maybe it's like somebody because they auction off drug dealer criminal
Mhm.
property and shit like that
they
too.
do.
Maybe they auctioned it off and whoever bought it was cleaning it out or whatever.
Mhm.
You brought up that this guy was Lalo's body double because
Yes.
later on they mentioned dental records and this guy's talking about the dentist and whatever. And you and I chatted about it and we were like, well, but would he take the body back
How
to the
could he get it
hacienda?
back? Yeah.
After listening to other people talk about it and thinking about it, you're right. It was a body double. He lives next door to Lalo, and he looks like Lalo a bit, built the same, looks like him a lot. So obviously, this is a contingency plan Lalo's had in play for a while. What did you think about that scene with Lalo and the two farmers?
So I'm just now putting this together as you're saying this. I'm like, wait a second, it was that guy. That's
Or just head just exploded.
That's why he said the thing about the ZZ Top. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Keep the mustache and the soul
Yeah.
patch. It looks
And
good, he said.
Sometimes.
He mentions the dental work. How was your husband's mouth after the dental work? And
so clever.
That's how the dental records matched Lalo's.
Exactly.
I was so confused by that scene because I'm like, why is he gonna go after this guy? Is he mad about the beard?
Right. The first time I was so confused. I'm like, I saw him like take slowly slide the scissors apart and take that. And I'm like, dude, they are feeding you. They are they are clearly love you. And you were what is wrong with you, dude? Yeah. Well, and I was very confused the first time.
Yeah, I was so confused by that. So good on you guys for figuring that out.
That was Rachel.
It's just completely over my head.
Well, it was Rachel, and then I talked her out of it, and then it turned out she was right.
Well, yeah, we were both like, well, how could he get the body back to that? But okay, and what's more confusing is that we had already heard from Tyrus, Gus's guy, that he had already told us that Lalo was dead. So in my brain, it was already confirmed. And then we see Lalo go to the neighbor's house, which is why you and I were both like, well, how did he get the body there? Why would he go back there? So yeah, I
assumed that too, that the timeline was like, that it was all linear. And that I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, no, it doesn't.
The other
why did he kill that guy?
The other thing they said was in the show was that the hacienda was burned. And that didn't happen when we were watching it. The house wasn't on fire. He spilled
grease,
oil, but the house itself wasn't on fire. So Lalo brought the body back and then set the house on fire to cover up the body too.
That makes sense.
Okay. That makes me feel a lot better too, because when the twins arrive to the hacienda and they see Abuelita all burned up, like that broke my heart. And I went, oh, Nacho did that. Oh, but okay. I like this better. I like blaming Lalo.
Yeah. I love how they sprinkle the dentistry stuff through there. So, if you're paying attention, you're going to catch it like Rachel did. Right over my head.
I did not. So.
So in the next scene, Jimmy and Kim are waking up after their late night discussing destroying Howard. And I think it's pretty obvious that Jimmy is not. He's not into it. And also, you got to remember, it's only been like 3 days since he was in the desert and watched. Almost died and watched a massacre and almost got killed by Lalo the night before. He is not on his. Well, he is not on his game at all.
And like Howard is just not even on the horizon for him right now. Like,
yeah, right.
Who's Howard?
Right.
And don't you think like maybe at that point he would be like, I maybe like effed up big time. I maybe don't want to do this anymore. like if this is how it's gonna go every time, maybe I don't want. And now she's like, no, like we're gonna do shady stuff. You're gonna continue to do shady stuff.
We're gonna do shady stuff. Get on board, pal.
She's just like, hey, how you doing? All right, we're doing it. I don't care. Let's do it.
Being with Jimmy allows her the freedom to be this way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Jimmy weren't in the picture, she'd be like, oh, I have to be this way. I have to be straight and narrow, on the straight and narrow. But Jimmy sort of allows her to branch out and be this bad version of herself.
She obviously enjoys the thrill of it. Like she is into this. Like, yes, she has ulterior motives.
He gets laid after after a lot of those scamming nights out. So
Right.
she's
working in his favor.
Into it, you know?
Being bad feels so good.
And I mean, I love in the scene with them later when they're at the restaurant and he comes outside the restaurant and stops and is looking in through the window at her. And you can tell that he just loves that she is happy. He loves her and you can see it in his face. And she wants him to keep doing this shit to be happy. And that's why he's going to keep doing it.
I actually wrote about that in my notes, just about how he looks at her with such love. There's so much love in him. And it's almost like he'll just go along with anything because he just loves her so much. So he's like, sure, Kim, whatever you want. And it's like, no, Jimmy, it's not good. It's not good.
Well, I also think Jimmy's been shady forever. I mean, he's slipping Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like, he's used to this. He knows how much of your soul you have to sacrifice to be this way. I don't think Jimmy wants that for Kim. He doesn't want Kim to lose bits of herself by doing these things. But like you said, you know, this is what's making her happy, and he's going to continue to do it, even though it's eating at her insides, her soul.
But also, had he not had his experience in the desert, I believe he would be 110,000% wholeheartedly on this Howard train.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big part of his problem. And you see it in the country club scene where he gets his mojo back. Like he's like, I have arrived. You know, here I am. Jimmy is back. You know, because earlier on we saw him slip up with the prosecutors.
Oh,
that's what we said, Lalo.
And he's so good at turning stuff around too. So to hear him like slip up, I was like, oh no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're better than this. You're better than this. Not this. You don't mess up. Yeah.
They got to connect it too. Like,
they were so, you saw that look that they exchanged.
I have many clients. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of clients. I'm good at this.
I think that was a valid excuse. Like, under any other circumstances, you may be like, oh, that's the client I'm on my way to meet. I got the names mixed up.
It's funny because in season 1, he's in the bathroom with Oakley and they're trying to work out a deal. And Oakley's like, I can't do that. That guy killed 2 people. He's like, what are you talking about? It's this different client. He's like, well, they have similar names or whatever, It's like, so here he is doing the same thing,
Yeah. So we've seen it. We've seen it happen to other lawyers. So totally plausible.
What did you think about the scene where Kim tossed out the lawyer cup?
I definitely didn't have in-depth thoughts about it. Here's my thought process. I don't know. I'm like, well, it has a hole in it. It doesn't work anymore. So yeah, you gotta throw it away.
I considered it, but only because of the way that they hung on it. I felt like there was some sort of emotional value that I was meant to attribute to that scene. I was curious because I was like, why is she carrying it with her? Like, where? Because you have a trash can in your house.
Right.
You don't have to carry it outside.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that she brought it with her, I was like, was that I'm planning on throwing this out, or I left absentmindedly with this in my hand? And then I just thought it was interesting that it was a toss, and albeit a good one because she made it. The trash can from where she was. It was really cavalier. It almost felt like she was forgetting what that cup means. That cup means that Jimmy almost died in the desert. That cup means everything that he's done, the road that he's on, is leading towards some pretty messed up stuff. And she just kind of was like, meh.
Well,
not gonna think about that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, given the history of not that cup in particular, because that's the second one, but the history of the best lawyer in the World Cup, which started in when they first became a couple in season 2.
Best lawyer.
Right, second best lawyer. I don't remember what happened to the cup. Damn.
First one? I thought there was just the one cup. I guess I don't remember her purchasing.
She got him the second one. When
I don't remember there being a first one, because I only remember seeing it when he had gotten off of the ban from the bar.
In 202, when they started dating, she gave him a present in the garage, and the present was the world's second best lawyer cup. And that was what he was like when he had the company car and he was trying to fit it in the
Didn't fit.
thing,
Yeah.
right? It wouldn't fit. And I don't remember what happened to the cup. I'm gonna have to go back and figure that out.
I don't remember the detail. Like I thought I don't want to say gave it back to her, but like got rid of it.
Was it the same cup? And he just she wrote again at the bottom of it?
No, because she bought him another one because she was
okay.
she had it in a plastic bag that she bought it in, and because that was the running joke. That's how she gave it to him in the first time.
I guess I always thought it was the same cup and she just added to it. So that's
that was my
mistake.
You can see her painting second on it again, second best lawyer on it.
Maybe he because he was so angry during that year. Maybe he threw it out.
I know something happened to it. It's just not coming to me, but I'll remember it eventually. I just feel like that's a very symbolic scene of Kim throwing away the old Jimmy. She is going to shape Jimmy into Saul Goodman. If Saul Goodman's going to happen, she is the one that's going to do it. That's why she suggests the fancy car. That's why she suggests the office.
The
Cathedral of Justice. So by throwing that cup out, she is throwing away the old Jimmy. And she is making a new one.
Well, yeah, and we see some of that coaching in the preview that I'm Saul Goodman. I'll fight for you. Yeah, because she's like helping him pick out his clothes and where she's like, no, I don't like that.
Too flashy.
I still thought maybe she was just giving up on either one of them being the best lawyer. Like we're not the best. We know we're not the best. Let's just do our thing and call it good.
I said Chuck was wrong about Jimmy being the danger, the chimp with the machine gun, because the danger is Kim with Jimmy with a law degree. Because she can make him do whatever the fuck she wants, and she knows he'll do it. He has no shame. He has no restraint. I mean, right now he does, but I don't think that's gonna last. Like he's gonna get back into being Jimmy. That's not gonna last forever.
Does Kim love Jimmy?
I think so.
I think she does, but look, I also think that she is fucking playing him on a long con from hell. The more I watch it, like the marriage proposal, she knew that he was not going to let go of what they were going to do to Kettlemans. She fucking knew that was going to happen. He was not going to fucking play that game. And so she let it play out, and she was all mad about it. You made it you against me. And then she's like, but hey, let's get married, Well,
it was so like passive,
right?
And then when he's like, are you sure, like, because he loves her, so he like wants to give her a huge wedding and everything if that's what she wants,
right? And
she's like, no, I don't care about that.
I don't care about that. I just want to get married so I can take all your sandpiper money when you get it. But I mean, I think
Jimmy even refers to it as our money.
Right. She goes, oh, so how much do you get? How much do we get?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think she loves Jimmy, but I think that's secondary to what she really wants, which is do her pro bono work. That's what she fucking wants to do.
Which I mean, that's great. Like, I love that she's like chasing her passion.
Yeah, she's shitting on Jimmy to do it, and I honestly believe that she's gonna be the one that just totally pushes him over into sleazy saga. Chuck was a restraint on him. Chuck kept him from becoming totally sleazy, slipping Jimmy, but Kim's not going to do that. She's like, nah, go ahead, do it. Let's do it. This will be fun. They're making some money.
Well, it's almost worse because she's like, no, don't do that. But then she's like,
we'll do it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, don't.
Help, police. This is what I wanted for June. Because Kim is still not doing it for bad reasons. Like, she has altruistic reasons. I mean, she wants to help people who need help. That is not a bad thing. And
wait. Speaking of bad reason. Okay. I need some clarification here because maybe I'm missing something, but why do we hate Howard so much? Why is Howard so terrible?
Well, you mean we as in we, or we as in Kim and Jimmy?
Well, let's start with you guys. Do you guys hate Howard? Do you hate Howard?
I honestly don't hate Howard.
I don't either.
I don't either. I mean, he did some shitty stuff but
he's
no
been
more
a-
shitty than anybody else on the
yeah,
show.
he's been a
Right.
dick, but it's just like that's his personality. So
But he's a lawyer. I feel like that comes with the
Yeah.
job, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and also like the shitty things that he did to Jimmy, he was honoring Chuck's wishes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so
Mhm.
was it really all that terrible? Like, he just didn't want to come between brothers, which to me is admirable, right?
No, and I kind of liked that after,
Excuse me.
Chuck's death, he's like, come work for me. Like
Mhm.
we can do this now. I've always said that you're a hustler. I want you to come hustle for me.
Mhm.
And I loved that. So I was so like, what is happening?
Mhm.
It's like, here's your prostitutes.
Here's your bowling balls.
See now that you're saying that, this makes me think that when Howard pulled Kim aside and told her all that stuff, I mean, I get Jimmy's animosity towards Howard. He's firmly happy to place the blame of Chuck's death on Howard for one
On
thing.
Howard. Yeah.
And Howard did fucking do some shitty stuff to him and to Kim. And we know that Jimmy loves Kim. And for Howard to do the shit that he did to her, like, that really made Jimmy mad, you know?
Mhm.
And I can see that Howard coming to him after the fact and being like, well, let's just let bygones be bygones. And Jimmy's like, fuck you, dude. Like,
No.
that, you know? But I can see Kim seeing when Howard comes and tells her all the stuff that Jimmy's done. She's like, oh, this is how I get Jimmy to do what the fuck I want. We make it about Howard. I don't think Kim gives a fuck either way about Howard. Like,
Right.
this is my view. Like, I don't know, but I
Yeah.
feel like she's just like, I don't give a fuck about Howard, but Howard is how I get Jimmy to do what I want him to do. I make it about
Mhm.
Howard.
Okay. So like if she can get Jimmy to take Howard out, she can make him do anything kind of thing.
Well, I mean, they need to take Howard down anyway because the whole crux of their plan is to get the Sandpiper money.
Mhm.
And in
Okay,
order to,
yeah.
to do that, Howard is part of that. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is she makes it about how she hates Howard and she's mad at Howard
Mhm.
because she knows that that's how she's going to get Jimmy to do what she wants. Oh, yeah, I hate Howard too. And since you hate Howard and I love you, I'm going to do this.
Okay. All right. I dig it.
All right.
I
have
just wonder.
2 minutes.
I'm like, why does everybody hate Howard so much? Yeah. 2.5
Well, I mean,
minutes.
I don't personally hate Howard. I mean, he's,
I don't either.
but I understand why Jimmy does. And I understand why Kim can use that as leverage against Jimmy.
Yeah. When in reality, Kim, like, yes, Howard did some shitty things to Kim, but if in the real world, she'd be like, "Fuck you, I quit. I'm going to work for somebody else,"
Right,
and that would be the end
exactly.
of it. Like,
Like, she-
I almost wonder if he can like see through this like fake mask that she puts up with everybody else, and that's why
Howard
he
or
was-
Jimmy.
Howard.
Mm.
If he was like, nah, you sketchy girl.
Well,
It's all about
she
you.
hang out with Jimmy, so
He's not wrong.
so the next scene, of course, is Lalo on the run to the motel. What did you guys think of that scene?
Wait, Nacho going to the hotel?
Right.
Okay. I don't know. It was just all like very, very tense. Like I was just like the whole time, like, what is gonna happen? Like,
It was interesting. I guess it was kind of you're partially in the dark the whole time, so you're like not really sure. I remember thinking as he was like right before he gets to the hotel, he's like hiding that storm drain or whatever, and he's like drinking water out of it. And I kept thinking like he's gonna get like Montezuma's like revenge. Like this dude lives in America. His stomach is not ready for that storm drain water.
Oh.
The whole time I was really like, I was on Mike's. I mean, I love Mike. So like I was really on Mike's side. He's like loyal to his people. You know, he's like Nacho's like on our side, and you just let him go down there and you don't have any forethought about like how are you gonna get him out. And Gus is just like, screw him.
Mhm.
He's on his own. So I love that they had set that up for him, like that idea of like providing something for him, but then there being this other element to it, like, but
Oh, they're definitely I mean, the whole idea. If you remember, Mike says, "Look, I need to go down there and take some guys and get him and bring him back." And Gus just kind of looks at him, and he's like, "Unless you have another plan." Well, that other plan is to get Nacho killed in a fucking shootout.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Which is because remember, Rachel, you and I were trying to figure out why in the hell he left the envelope
Yeah.
in the safe, and that is why, because they wanted the Salamancas to go down there and fucking kill Nacho, because that's a
Mhm.
loose end that now he doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah, which I like hate that Gus is so like just plays so fast and loose with people's lives, but you know, he's not a great guy, so
Right.
it makes sense. It's hard though, because I do love him at the same time, but it's just, I think it's just Juan Carlo Esposito like just seeping through.
He just Gus doesn't like have any emotion. Like he's just always,
Mhm.
you know, you never really know what he's thinking. Like he could be happy, he could be mad, he could be you, you have no idea what he's
like
thinking.
he's the Madison of Better Call Saul.
Playing fast and loose with other people's lives. I agree with Rachel that was like a super tense sequence, and when it left it for a little while, I was kind of like, no, go back. Like I need to find out what's happening. So I really enjoyed the parts about Nacho. I was genuinely like fearful of what was going to happen. And I was so worried about him. And I'm not really sure why I like him so much. There's just something about him.
He's kind of like Kim. Like he's doing bad things, but he has a good reason. Like his reason is he's trying to keep his father from being killed or save his father.
And like I love that he cares about his family and he like wants to take care of his dad. I don't know. There's just something about him that like, even though he's got like these like drugged up girls at the house that he's like just tossing drugs to. I mean, and they're ridiculous. Like I should be like, this guy sucks. But I'm like, I kind of like this guy. I kind of like him.
Same.
I mean, it's the brilliance of the writing. We're not supposed to like Saul either, but guess what? We all do.
Love him. Just love him.
Talked about the country club a little bit, but I think we should go back to that because that was just brilliant. It was brilliant. Bob Odenkirk. I mean,
Amazing.
And you know, the thing is, like, he obviously, I don't think he went in there with the intention of doing this bit because I don't think he expected to run into Kevin. Like that wasn't even.
No, I don't think so.
I was wondering if that was planned at all. I couldn't tell, but I didn't think so.
Right, I don't know
because
I think that totally threw him because he was going to go on the tour and hey, while we're here, let me run in the bathroom or whatever. You know, he's pulled the bathroom bit before. He did that in 108 Rico when he was at the Sandpiper. And he was like, I need to use your bathroom because I'm so upset. And then he sat in there and wrote the letter out on the toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So he used toilet paper again, just a different method.
It's true.
Oh man.
I mean, I think he wasn't into it. You know, he still wasn't really into it. And then he had to be on the fly. He had to reach in and come out with this show, this put on, this showmanship, and he had to do it or the whole thing was a bust. And I think that kind of rekindled him a little bit. He's like, oh, I got to do it. Look, I'm gonna do it. Oh, look, I can still do it.
It was so good too.
Forget about saying Lalo on accident. I can still.
It was so good, and I love that he pulled that in front of a person who knows that that's not his name. It was amazing.
I'm really glad we got to see Kevin Wachtel again. I hope this is not the last time. I don't see how because Mesa Verde isn't really a part of it anymore, but I really hope that we do get to continue to see him in the future because he was great.
He's funny. Yeah. I love Kim doing her impression of.
Oh, that is it's amazing.
More statues. I felt really bad for the tour guy.
I did too. And I like that actor. He was on The Office. He played Rolf, I think was his name. He was like one of Dwight Schrute's like best friends. and he's just a killer actor. He's just so good at everything he does. I get like cases of secondhand embarrassment really easily. And that was one of them where I was like, oh God, like make it stop.
What do you think the proof is that Lalo is going to go after?
Oh, see, I thought it had something to do with Jimmy because isn't it in that next episode that we see like there's like a car following him and Kim?
My first reaction was that is Lalo, but they took great pains to show us that Lalo did not go back to the U.S.
It's true.
Yeah.
They deliberately showed the sign that said United States this way and Lalo went the other way.
That's true.
Also, it's super dangerous for Lalo to be in the US right now. They are actively fucking looking for him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's Lalo. I think that the person in the car is somebody Howard has hired to follow Kim and Jimmy. Because Howard is not stupid. Like, he knows that if this cocaine stuff is going to come up, he fucking knows that it's going to be Jimmy doing it. But I have to think that Jimmy knows that as well. And that's part of the plan, is they want Howard to like be looking into them or whatever and thinking that they're up to something.
Okay.
Make him look more suspicious.
So Lalo's looking for evidence to prove that Gus has like turned on him and Eladio, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he stays in Mexico to get some sort of proof.
Does he know that Nacho's still there?
I don't think he's going to go after Nacho. And I also think he wants
Maybe
everybody.
It's not even a person at all. I mean, what if it's like a thing or a place?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna like wax philosophical too much on it, because whatever I try to come up with is gonna be wrong anyways.
Oh yeah. No matter what you can think of, they're going to come up with something better.
Let's just move on.
That's why they write the shows and we watch them.
The last thing I want to say about this episode really is what a contradiction Lalo is. I mean, he's vicious, but at the same time, you can tell he really cares about his people.
So when he goes to visit the body double, there was like that conversation between him and the wife, and I couldn't get a read on her. Like, I was like, is she just so terrified that she's willing to like feign, because like Lalo says the thing about the beard and she's like, go clean up for him and shave. Like, I was like, whoa. So it's this weird thing where like he doesn't have to be this like benevolent ruler, and I mean he's not really, but like look at all the money he like puts back into things, and like he has all those people that are older that he has at his house that work as his like staff, but it seems like he genuinely cares about them and wants them to be safe. Now, if it's him or them,
right,
he's gonna do whatever he needs to.
Okay, so I mean, Gus does the same thing though. He has that whole little village that he supports in honor of his boyfriend. He supports the police and the firemen and all the civic stuff. What is the difference between them? Why do we pull for Gus? Why do we pull for Gus and not for Lalo?
I don't know, because Lalo is just like so good looking too. So like, why am I not like on Team Lalo here?
I don't like how smug he is. Like, he's so cocky, and he's right. Like, he's so like, stop being right all the time.
I don't know if it's that like predisposition to like hate like all like Salamanca people, because I really, really hate. I just hate what's his name? The uncle.
Hector,
Don Hector. I can't stand him and his freaking bell. I just hate him. I hated him before in Breaking Bad, and now I hate him even more because he's a dick before that. So I can't even feel bad that he's like an old man who's like incapable of doing anything with his little angry bell, and then he's like checking out the nurse's ass. I just can't. I can't with this guy. So maybe that's why. Maybe I'm like, no, they're just, the whole family's dead to me.
I do have to give props to Mark Margolis for the face acting as Don Hector, because
I mean, yeah,
he is the master. Like, when he hears Lalo's voice on the phone and the change on his face was just, I mean, I laughed. I was like, that is fucking fantastic, man. What a great job. All right, so I forgot to mention the title of it. The title of it is Wine and Roses, and the next episode is Carrot and Stick, which we know all about what the carrot and the stick is in this one. I want to say that the next episode is Rock in a Hard Place, so they're continuing the title.
Okay, the two items.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our opening scene in Carrot and Stick is the crazy meth girls.
Oh yeah.
She's building a what's that called when you do the domino
train or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's also the one in season 5 who was trying to take the remote control apart.
Yeah. Where he's like just take this instead, that puzzle.
He's like, here, have a puzzle. I love that he keeps their toys like in a little dog chest, like next to the couch. Like that's where you keep your dog's toys.
When she hits the remote and she changes the channel to a commercial, the commercial is for a product that is also one of the things that is sitting on Saul's bathroom counter in the opener. It's not a real. It's like a. I can't remember the name of it, like Monofidil, whatever. It's some stupid drug name or whatever. But it's made up for the show. It's not a real one. But they did throw that on there. That is one of the things that's sitting on the counter. She was like, "What's the record? What do you think the record is? What do you think the record is?" And the other girl's just
Hundreds,
like,
right?
"Shut up."
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, what?
Like Mike is like the most patient person on the planet. Like, ladies. Well,
because she just keeps going, please.
I mean, to be fair, I'm like, she thinks he's gonna kill her right now. I might be doing the same thing while also peeing my pants, right?
She was the one that was in bed with Nacho last season when they busted in and kidnapped Nacho.
Yeah.
So she's already been traumatized once. I'm sure that was not.
The other girl seems to be fairly level-headed in all those situations too.
Right.
Because she's the one who meets Nacho's dad, and she's like really seems to pull it together to like say hello and tell him it's nice to meet him, and like, you know, it's kind of surprising. So, and she holds it together in this situation too, where she's like, just shut up. just shut. And she notices the guys at first. So she seems to be like a little more cognizant of what's going on.
Poor girl.
One of them's gotta be.
Right.
It was nice that they packed up all their shit for him too. Like, here's your things, ladies.
Here's your things, and here's a wad of cash. Goodbye. Never come back here.
I wonder what's in those suitcases, though.
Did you notice the definite descent of the house, though, from season 5 into this? Because the house was way dirtier. I really want that wall painting of Nacho's, like the car one.
The room.
I really want that. Basically, they wanted to know what was in the safe and be able to plant something in it. So that was one of those really long, drawn out camera angle, you know, montage scenes that the show loves to do, and they do it so fucking good. They're so good at it. Like watching Mike take the car apart for an hour. It was still enjoyable.
It's so much work. It's so much work to give us such a little piece of information.
But yeah, I did have to listen to the Insider podcast to kind of get a handle on what was going on there, and it reflects on the whole double cross thing. Kind of reflects on how smart Nacho is, that he's figured out that they're double crossing him. Like, oh, we're gonna help you, we're gonna get you out, but he's now figured out that they're not gonna fucking do that. He's totally and completely on his own.
I know. I love that scene where he calls Tyrus and is like, something's not right, and then just waits for the phone call to come through. It was such an incredible moment, because I was like, there's no way I would have put that together in that situation. Because why would you have a level head? And I love that he's that smart.
So what do you think he does now? Where do you think he goes? Who does he go to? What does he do? Because the Salamancas are after him. Gus is not going to help him. Mike might, maybe.
Yeah, I know he's been trying to get a hold of Mike. That's the thing. He kept calling Mike, even though Tyrus was the one like in contact with him. He did keep trying Mike's phone, because Mike ignores his phone call when he's with his granddaughter. So, you know, he loves his dad. So is he going to try to get back to his dad? He's already got like the Canadian identities for them to move to Manitoba, I think it is.
But he doesn't, because it's in the safe, and I don't think he can get back to the safe.
I know. So that's the thing, is like, do you try to figure out a way to get back, or do you just ditch everything? But then he has nothing. He's got no money, can't use his identity, like absolutely nothing. So he's in between a rock and a hard place. So there we go.
Right.
Yeah, if he does go back to like try and save his dad or whatever, he's gonna have to tell him what happened, and his dad's gonna be pissed, and he's not gonna want to leave, and he's gonna be like, you know, but you have to. They're gonna kill you too, and I mean, his dad will be like, fine, then let him. Like, I don't know how he's gonna get his dad to leave.
I don't know. His dad's one of those people that doesn't, you know, he won't run.
Right.
If it,
Yeah.
because it just means that you're giving up and you're saying like, I'm not going to stand up for what I believe in and all the things I've worked towards. So
Even if it means dying for it. Yeah.
I don't foresee Nacho's story ending in like a super uplifting, happy way.
I hope so.
Which
I hope
I
it
mean,
does.
no, I really want him to make it through, but I think it might be, maybe he loses his dad or something to that effect, which is really sad, but I can't see a way in which it all works out for him. I mean, I hope so, but
So we're gonna move on to the Kettlemans because this was my favorite part of both episodes. When Kim said you're gonna hate this, I was like, oh, where is this going?
Did you have any idea? Did you, the
I did
Kettlemans
not.
at
I had
all
no
pop in your
idea.
head?
I did not. I did not. So when he pulled up outside and he goes and I saw Betsy Kettleman, I was like, oh my god, they brought the fucking Kettlemans back. This is awesome because I love the Kettlemans. Like they are just the most clueless. I mean, they're just so funny.
I love them.
And I love Julianne Emery. I've watched her in something else. She had like a little webisode show. I've watched some of that. It was really good. It was like really early on in the 2010s. So the Lady Liberty that is flying over the Kettleman, that is the Lady Liberty that is in Better Call and Breaking Bad. They said it on the podcast today. That they went and got it out of storage and blew it because that is the only one. There is no other one. The trailer, they rented a trailer and took it out there and set it up and painted it and all that. So that is, and they were talking about how they filmed inside of it. Like usually there's a big sound stage with the cameras and stuff, but they're like everybody filming was crammed into this tiny little trailer. But what I loved the most was, of course, Savage Ask Him coming out. So you guys know the wolf sheep reference is from the flashback from when Jimmy was a little kid and the guy came in and was ripping his dad off. And Jimmy was like, he wasn't fucking having it. And the guy's like, hey, there's wolves and sheep, kid. You got to figure out which one you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But my feeling on that line is Jimmy was like, holy shit, I just thought I was a wolf. I am the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
What were you guys' thoughts on the whole Kettleman segment?
Well, I shared the other day that I am obsessed with Craig Kettleman. So I was so happy that he is back because he is just the doofiest person in the world. And I just love him so much. Like, oh, you got to dial 9. It's like, dude, she's calling to like jack up your life right now. Like, don't help her. Don't help her. So I was just loved it. I love the whole setup. You guys are such idiots. I'm going to come bring you this thing and you're going to take it because you're suckers. You're just going to take the bait. And that they go to exactly where he planned on them going. And like, I mean, it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I was just so happy that they were back. And I had no idea what to expect when Kim was like, you're going to hate this. And as soon as I saw it was, I'm like, yeah, he does. He just hates them like so much.
They're so annoying.
It's
in like
so
the best
good.
way, right?
Yeah, it's just so good.
And remember, they're the reason Kim got put in the cornfield the first time when they said that they didn't want her to be their lawyer anymore, and that was when Howard put her in doc review.
Oh,
So I'm sure she's not too particularly fond of them either.
Betsy says, and when Saul comes back with Kim, they're talking about everything and they're like, well, we know that you're trying to frame Howard for cocaine use, obviously. And they're like, and you tried to drag our good name.
Our good name. Yeah.
And I lost it. I'm like, are you nuts? It's like, you're so oblivious to the world that you live in. And then immediately she like goes back on what she had just said and is like, well, you need to help exonerate Craig's name so our name can be good again. And I was like, oh, you guys are just morons.
Right.
Pieces of work.
Did you feel sorry for them at all?
Honestly, at the end, yes. Like, and they're shit bags. And I still was like, damn, Kim, calm down, reel it in. And I believe my exact words to you, Sharon D, were Kim can run the damn cartel herself. It's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing, because she was savage in this episode.
I am so here for Savage Kim.
Yeah. I was really excited to see them back. Yeah, like Bridget said, like Craig's such a doofus. Like he's such a lovable doofus. I just love him. Every time Betsy talks, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, honey. Like just completely goes along with whatever. Oh my gosh, yeah, everything Bridget said, I agree with.
Oh, I had forgotten about the. Well, that'll all come out in
Discovery.
Something else to contemplate is the reason they're mixed up in the cartel is because of the Kettlemans. If you trace it all the way back to the beginning, because it was the Kettleman money that Nacho was after that got him mixed up with Jimmy in the first.
True. Dang.
Wow.
Dang. Full circle.
Oof. You Kettlemans.
Mm.
You no good Nicks.
I felt bad. I mean, I felt bad for him too. Like
I did.
they were fucking. I mean, they were, but they are bad people. Like they were ripping old people off.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's face too at the end of that.
Oh,
like
he looked in while Kim was ripping them. He was just standing over there looking terrible. Like he just felt fucking awful.
And I love that he gave them the money after. Like he's like, here.
So that brings up a question actually. What is your take on how Kim reacted when Jimmy came out of the Sweet Liberty?
When he gets in the car and she's like, you gave him the money, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I almost felt like she was getting to the point where maybe she feels like that's her money and she wants it, which I was like, this isn't good. This isn't gonna be good if this is where this is going. Yeah, almost like she was annoyed that he was gonna like give away their money to them.
Yep. I felt the same way even when he first pulled it out of the bag and she was sitting in the bed and she's like, I thought you were going to use the stick or whatever. And Jimmy's like, she's a carrot kind of girl or whatever. Like she looked annoyed then. And like the way she stared at them, he put it in his pocket and then it like focuses on the money and then Kim in the background, like staring at it. I'm like, ooh, she wants that money. Like she just wants to keep all the money. So yeah, I think she was disappointed. He gave it to the Kettlemans. And
do you feel like she feels like that makes him weak? We remember it's only been like 3 days since he was in the desert. He is still traumatized. Yeah. And Kim is just like, don't care. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So do you feel like she is feeling like he just doesn't have the spine for it? Or do you think she's like, I get it, you're just not yourself and it's a little irritating, but
that's actually like a really good point to bring up. Yeah, maybe she is feeling like maybe doesn't have the gut for it like she thought he did.
Maybe he needs to remind her, like, look, I just spent like 3 days in the desert. I almost died. Like
I drank my own pee.
Yeah. Give me a minute. I need to take a breath.
The direction Kim is going is what I wanted for June. Like I didn't want her to go out and just be evil, but I wanted her to do bad shit and fuck people up for good reasons.
Yeah.
And if it meant going against our group, then go against our group. That's fine. I really love the ladies with a little evil edge to them. And like Kim is really fulfilling this for me. Although now I'm scared shitless for her because I love Kim, but I love that they're doing this because whoever would have seen this coming in season 1 or 2?
Not at all. The way that she gave Jimmy grief over everything that he did. Yeah. This is unbelievable.
But so organic. Like it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like they're forcing it. It's so natural, such a natural progression. This show is literally the best show on TV right now. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again. The bank that the Sweet Liberty Tax Service draws their account on is the Craddock Marine Bank, which is Mike's friend Anita worked for Craddock Marine Bank. She wore a name tag in one of the episodes. It's also the bank the check was drawn on in 206 Bally High when they flim-flammed Dale at the bar. The check, the Ice Station Zebra Associates check that Kim kept as a souvenir, was also drawn on Craddock Marine Bank. Just one of those little things tying everything together. That's why we love these shows. Right? Everything means something. There's a reason for everything. We don't always know what it is right away, but we're gonna find out. Oh, also, that terrible woman in the ponytail is a cocaine.
No.
That made me oh my god, that was so funny.
The terrible woman with the ponytail. Yeah, that's great. It was just like every scene that they're in was just gold.
They
Which
are
I like.
just
I
so
liked
funny.
them, at the beginning during their introduction and stuff. But I think at that point they more like frustrated me than anything else. So it's so great to have them back and have them be like this great just breath of like comic relief during some really serious shit.
I love that Betsy Kettleman's idea of losing everything is her kids being in public school.
I know.
Like,
We've lost
really?
everything. Our kids are in public school. She's just so upset. And I think it's so funny that like figured out another way to embezzle money. Like, and it's not even like a bad idea because they're so dumb, but they can really come up with a good plan.
I mean, in any other universe, they'd be kindred spirits with Jimmy McGill and Kim Wexler.
Right?
It's true.
Takes one to know one, right, Kim?
You should do a Betsy and Craig spinoff.
Oh my God. I would watch the hell out of that.
Watch them ripping people off in different ways.
I'm telling you, go watch the Inside the Gilliverse with them as their characters because it is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
I know. I keep saying I'm going to. I really need to.
And I mean, you don't have to watch it. You can just listen to it because it's just. I mean, they did it over Zoom, so like when they're doing it, they're like, "Yeah, Craig and I are in 2 different rooms of the house because of quarantine, because they were doing it over Zoom. But yeah, we're in the same house. We're just in 2 different rooms, It is so good. It is so good.
It would have been funny if they were like both in their bedroom or something. Like, you're in different rooms.
Oh, they don't sleep together, right?
I imagine like side by side beds, like
right, the old
the
school
twins.
beds.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it, guys.